I recently had a 1450 Nema outlet installed. It's a 240 volt and it was installed by a professional electrician. But I want to put one of these in-use plastic covers. You might have seen them before and they're actually for outdoor use. I picked this one at Home Depot for about $18. It's a 2-gang and it measures right here where the box is supposed to hit the wall at about 4.5 inches. That matches the exact dimensions of this wall plate that this charger is plugged into, about 4.5 inches. I'm not sure how it's going to fit or how to put it in, but we're going to take a look. First, I'll just unplug the car. And now I'm just going to turn this switch off, the breaker for the socket. Here it is. Some people say that you should also unplug the master, but I'm going to skip that part. The light on the Tesla charger is off, so I assume that the socket is no longer energized. People say anyways, when you plug and unplug these, that you should always hit the breaker first. And we'll just put this over here. And I'll just get this slot screwdriver. It's an old Craftsman. And even though the socket's off, I'm going to put on these pair of rubber gloves. And we'll just open this up. The enclosure comes with a cutout that should match this socket. But when I look at the measurements here, it says 2 7/16 inches, which is going to be a little bit not as wide as it needs. So here's what's in here. These are all the different cutout parts that you can snap into the box to do a custom fit. And it even comes with some hardware screws down in here. So this will be the cutout that I need. I did measure it to see if it's going to fit over this, and I think it will. When I hold the box up here, I think I'm going to need to punch out this insert part right here. I'm going to take the screws off this plate first to see what's back there. And so we'll just unscrew these. Let's see if that plate comes off. Here we go. Here's the box underneath. Is this going to fit? As you can see, it's a little bit oversized. And I'm not sure if I put this in. It looks like these will be the screws that I must undo in order to go through and attach this box to this socket. So I think I can just use this screw here, this one here. I'm just going to undo 2 of them to screw this box onto the wall. I'm going to bust out that insert, and then this part will have to be placed in here, and it goes in here like this. And then I'll use that hole and that hole, and I'm not going to use all 4. Before I do that, I'm going to have to break out this circular insert so that it matches this outlet. And the one thing I like about this is that it actually has the electric car logo on there that tells you that this is the right outlet for charging EVs. And to bust this insert out, I'm just going to use this pair of scissors. You could use probably anything, or just like even use a screwdriver and just knock the corners out, but I'm just going to use the scissors. So I busted out the insert, and actually it was a lot thicker and tougher than I thought, so it was a little tough with these scissors. And I realized another thing, that this insert does not come in from behind. It actually has to be put in from the front like this. And then it's a perfect fit. Now all I have to do is just bust out those circles until it matches the diameter of this socket. And it might be kind of tough, so I'm going to do that off film. And I'm just going to use this heavy duty razor knife to punch out these little tabs right here all around. And so it's out, but I'm going to see if it'll fit over the socket. Everything I've read about these Hubbles tells me that it's going to be wider than the hole, but look at that, it's a perfect fit. And so this just snaps right on in. And then it just fits really easily over the socket like this. And so I'm just going to take out this screw right here and this one down here. This is the screw that was in there, And this is the one that came with the hardware kit. It's a little bit thicker and a little bit shorter, but I'm going to try this one. And so I actually decided to take 3 of them out. And I just left this one up here. But I think that should be enough. So now the cover is lined up, and then I'm leaving the hinge pins out for the time being. And you can see this is where the cord will come down after it's plugged in. And I'm just going to put 1 screw up here, 1 up here, and then 1 down here. And then we left this screw right here. So it's on there now, pretty solid. And I had a little bit of alignment problem with these ones just because of how the electrician put it in. But this one's going to be okay because there's a little cutout on the back for the screw head to fit into. So it's still flush. So this is really tight and flush against the wall. And it's pretty secure. We can put the cover on now. Here are the little hinge pins that are going to go into these 2 hinges. And we'll just put this up here. It just fits on like that, and it clicks into place. And then I guess we're just going to drive these hinge pins in right here. And you don't really need to beat on those hinges at all to get them in. They just snap in really easily. And the box looks like it's on. And to open it, you just pull that out and it just lifts up. And then you can plug in, have your cord come down in here, shut it, put in a little padlock so the kiddos or whoever can't access it. And it should be done. So let's go ahead and do that. The cord just fits down in there really easily. And then this will shut. That clicks shut. Pretty secure. Time to go turn on the power. Actually, you can see underneath here that there is some interference right with this edge of this cover and the cord. It just needs to be radiused out a little bit so that it's not causing this little bit of a gap that you can see right in here. It's just needs about just a tiny bit to be radiused out. I'm going to do that later. And test those back online. Business as usual. And I just wanted to put this up here because I could not find anything about how to install this thing, and it was driving me crazy. But it's a lot easier than I thought. There you go. And so I just have an extra plate, I guess, and that's it. I hope that you guys find that this is helpful. And if so, like and subscribe.